Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Mic Drops. I'm your host, Richie Averill, and today I'm joined with Vincent Grandi, and we're here to talk about a very important topic, diversity. So because Vincent is so involved as a realtor, I'm going to give him just a moment to tell us a little bit about him. So Vincent?
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Vincent Grandi. I'm a realtor with Windermere Real Estate. I serve on a few different committees in our industry. One is that I serve on the Community Alliance Committee at DMAR, which is their diversity committee. I'm also chairing the task force here now for the Diversity and Inclusion Task Force here at CAR. And I also serve on the leadership team here in Denver for NAGORUP, which is the National Association of Gay, Lesbian, Real Estate Professionals. So diversity to me is it's a passion, and I'm very it's a very important piece in being a realtor.
So we asked Vincent to come and talk about diversity because he is so involved, and it's a very important topic for all of us realtors to understand. So Vincent, what is diversity?
Wow, that's such a broad question, and I think a lot of times when people think of diversity, they kind of put up their guard a little bit.
Right.
People feel a little bit challenged. Perhaps maybe they did something wrong, or they're not being politically correct about something. But it basically is just about an individual who is unique and understanding our differences and respecting our differences. We come from all different walks of life, and I think that if we could all just come together and be respectful on who we all are, it would be a much better world and a far better industry that we work in. The real estate industry has not been very colorful over the last several decades, and I would say today we are probably more diverse than we ever have.
Right.
And I think it's really important that we embrace that and we move forward in a positive way.
And Vincent, you touched on this a little bit, but for all the realtors watching, why is it important for us to have this discussion about diversity?
Well, as I mentioned that we are so diverse right now, more than we ever have been, and it's really important, in our business, to understand diversity, the type of clients that we're going to be working with, our fellow colleagues, the different brokerages that we're involved in. It's just it's a growing population, and we need to embrace that.
Yeah. So when we look at the numbers and the statistics for home ownership across these different groups, diverse groups, the numbers can be a little concerning. Talk to us a little bit about that, and what advice do you have for agents that are working with people to get into home ownership?
Yeah, it's pretty striking. If anybody attended the car event at the Day of the Capitol last year, you would have seen some of some really striking numbers that came across as far as home ownership. For example, we had 8 years of President Obama as the first African American president, and now, forward 3 years later, African American homeownership is at its lowest ever in our history, which is very concerning. The Hispanic homeownership is probably in about the mid 40s. The Asian population is in the high 20s.
Wow.
And and the LGBTQ community is actually below 50% as well. Something about that is that and this comes from the more younger crowd, the millennial crowd,
Right.
is that when we did a survey with the LGBT community, a lot of them fear homeownership because of being prejudiced
Right.
and being not accepted in perhaps maybe neighborhoods, or concerned that they're not going to get approved for a loan. So a lot of the different factors of fear keep the homeownership down. So I think it's important that as realtors in our organizations, that we accept everybody, we learn how to work with them, and we move forward in a very positive way.
So would you say that education and acceptance
Absolutely.
would be a great way to close that gap?
Absolutely. So I think that getting involved in our boards, getting involved in CAR, getting involved in NAR. NAR has a lot of resources for our realtors to understand and become more familiar with diversity, and to work with their clients and their fellow colleagues.
And as you mentioned, you're the current chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Task Force.
Yes.
Can you share with us the goals of that group and how we can get involved?
Yeah, so we're just up and running. We are a task force right now. We are hopefully moving forward to be a committee.
Yeah.
So one of our first tasks that we are putting forward is to present to the board our reasons why we should become a committee.
Okay.
So that's in our year one. We also are presenting a budget. And then in 2020, should we become a committee, or if we stay on as a task force, whichever that may be, we're looking at putting on some educational events.
Okay.
For our community.
Nice.
We want to be more of a resource. It's not where Carr wants to sit from the top and dictate down to what all the different boards and community members should be doing.
Yeah.
We want to be able to have people come to us and provide support and be a resource. We're going to get involved in town hall meetings. We want to be involved in the brokerages, so we want to actually do like visits with the brokerages and do presentations to all the different agent community. Get involved in our community, so get involved in local universities and high schools.
Yeah.
So there's some really exciting things that are coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. So for those watching, we've talked about a lot of ways to be involved in what these task force and working groups are doing. With all that being said, any last pieces of advice or something that those watching at home could do to get involved and make sure they're great advocates for consumers?
Yeah, I just think that it's our civic responsibility to be involved in our community as well as within our organization. So I think everybody should be involved, either it's a board, a committee, the leadership academies. There's just a variety of different things that we can all be involved in to make the real estate community and for both ourselves and for the consumer to help diversity and to move forward with it. So I think educating, getting a better understanding of different programs that involve diversity communities.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Vincent, thank you so much for joining
you.
us today. Everyone watching at home, I think you now have some great advice, some great information about diversity and how you can get involved and educated. So until next time, we'll see you on MicDrops.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.